go AI solutions like Amazon. There's so much more that can be done on AWS that we have time to talk about here. For example, when it comes to migrating onto AWS, we didn't even cover running VMware on AWS. The same VMware-based infrastructure that you use on-prem can, in many cases, just be lifted up and dropped onto AWS via VMware Cloud on AWS. And this is just one of many concepts that make AWS a place where builders go to create and innovate at the pace of their ideas. When it comes to machine learning and artificial intelligence, AWS has the broadest and deepest set of machine learning and AI services for your business. You can choose from pre-trained AI services for computer vision, language recommendations, and forecasting. Amazon SageMaker can quickly build, train, and deploy machine learning models at scale, or build custom models with support.
Amazon SageMaker, huh? Sage in French, it means somebody who's wise, right? So basically, SageMaker. Machine learning. Okay.
And forecasting. Amazon SageMaker can quickly build, train, and deploy machine learning models at scale, or build custom models with support for all the popular open source frameworks. Our capabilities are built on the most comprehensive cloud platform, optimized for machine learning with high performance compute, and no compromises on security and analytics. Tools like Amazon SageMaker and Amazon Augmented AI, or Amazon A2I, provide a machine learning platform that any business can build upon without needing PhD level expertise in-house. Or perhaps ready-to-go AI solutions like Amazon Lex, the heart of Alexa, like Amazon Lex. Or perhaps without needing PhD level.
Okay. Amazon A2. It's also for machine learning platform.
Level expertise in-house. Or perhaps ready-to-go AI solutions like Amazon Lex, the heart of Alexa.
Hello, Blaine. What can I help you with?
Helps you build interactive chatbots. Or what?
Amazon Lex.
What about Amazon Textract? Extracting text and data from documents to make them more usable for your enterprise instead. Instead of them just being locked away in a repository. Do you want to put machine learning literally into the hands of your developers? Why not try AWS Deep Racer? A chance for your developers to experiment with reinforcement learning, one of the newest branches of machine learning algorithms. Reinforcement AWS Deep Racer literally into the hands of your developers? Why not try AWS Deep Racer? A chance for your developers to experiment with reinforcement learning, one of the newest branches of machine learning algorithms, all while having fun in a racing environment. AWS offers brand new technologies in things like Internet of Things, enabling connected devices to communicate all around the world. Speaking of communication around the world, have you ever wanted to have your own satellite? Too expensive to launch your own? Well, why not just use AWS Ground Station and only pay for the satellite time you actually need? I could go on for days talking about all these new technologies, like literally for days. AWS Training and Certification offers training classes on many of these technologies already, and every month, AWS seems to release something even better for us to talk about.
Over the last few videos, you started to learn about migration to AWS, as well as some interesting and innovative services you can use to either aid in your migration or to step your game up with AWS. You learned about the AWS Cloud Adoption Framework. The Cloud Adoption Framework gives you guidance on who to loop into a cloud migration, what their roles are, and the sorts of things that they should be focused on. There's the business, people, and governance perspectives for non-technical planning, and the platform, security, and operations perspectives for technical planning. We also talked about the 6 R's of migration. The R's represent different strategies on moving solutions to the cloud. They are rehost, replatform, repurchase, refactor, retire, and retain. There's also the question of how to move massive amounts of retained platforms and operations perspectives for technical planning. We also talked about the 6 R's of migration. The R's represent different strategies on moving solutions to the cloud. They are rehost, replatform, repurchase, refactor, retire, and retain. There's also the question of how to move massive amounts of data into AWS without going over the network. This is where you learned about AWS Snowball and AWS Snowmobile, which allow you to fill in a physical device with your data and have it go. The R's represent different strategies on moving solutions to the cloud. They are rehost, replatform, repurchase, refactor, retire, and retain. There's also the question of how to move massive amounts of data into AWS without going over the network. This is where you learned about AWS Snowball and AWS Snowmobile, which allow you to fill in a physical device with your data and have it shipped back to AWS, who then uploads it for you. This is useful to sidestep any potential throughput issues, and it is also more secure than using high-speed internet. We've covered a lot of different AWS services in this course. And as you know, you use these services as building blocks for your solutions. There are endless architectures you can create to solve whatever problem you are trying to solve on AWS. You can string together services in a simple or complicated manner. Having a lot of options is great, but how do you know if the architecture you've created is, well, good? Let's look at this basic 3-tier architecture. Does this look good? Well, we have a load balancer, some instances, and a backend database. Seems all right to me, but what about this alternate architecture? This architecture has now been replicated across availability zones, or AZs. This is important for reliability. If one AZ is having issues, your application will still be up and running in the second AZ. It's important that you are able to spot deficiencies in architectures, like in this simple example. Not all examples are quite as simple. Luckily, there are tools that can help you. We're going to cover something called the well-architected framework. This is a tool you can use to evaluate the architectures you build for excellence in a few different categories. You can use to evaluate the architectures you build for excellence in a few different categories. The well-architected framework has pillars, and these pillars are operational excellence, security, reliability, performance efficiency, cost optimization, and sustainability. The well-architected framework is designed to enable architects, developers, and users of AWS to build secure, high-performance, resilient, and efficient infrastructure for their applications. It's composed of 6 pillars to ensure a consistent approach to reviewing and designing of architectures. The first pillar is operational excellence, and it focuses on running and monitoring systems to deliver business value, and with that, continually improving processes and procedures. For example, automating changes with deployment pipelines or responding to events that are triggered. The second pillar is security. And as you know, security is priority number one at AWS. And this pillar exemplifies it by checking integrity of data and, for example, protecting systems by using encryption. The third pillar is reliability, and it focuses on recovery planning, such as recovery from an Amazon DynamoDB disruption or an Amazon EC2 node failure. It also covers how you handle change to meet business and customer demand. The fourth pillar is performance efficiency, and it entails using IT and computing resources efficiently. For example, using the right Amazon EC2 type based on workload and memory requirements. It also covers making informed decisions and maintaining efficiency as business needs evolve. The fifth pillar is cost optimization, which looks at optimizing full cost. This is controlling where money is spent, and for example, checking if you have overestimated your Amazon EC2 server size. You can then lower cost by choosing a more cost effective size. And the last and sixth pillar is sustainability. The sustainability pillar focuses on minimizing the environmental impacts of running cloud workloads. Reducing energy consumption and increasing efficiency are at the core of this pillar. So you can design cloud architectures that reduce resource usage and ultimately design with the planet and your business in mind. In the past, you need to evaluate these against your AWS infrastructure with the help of a solutions architect. Not that you can't and aren't still encouraged to do that, but we listened to customer feedback and decided to release the framework as a self-service tool, the well-architected tool. You can access it with the AWS Management Console. Create a workload and run it against your AWS account to generate a report showing areas that should be addressed. It kind of looks like a traffic light system, with green being go, keep up the good work, orange being you should probably look into this because there's some room for improvement, and red being okay, you should look at this because there is something at risk. These are areas where the tool has detected potential issues, and it presents you with a plan on how to architect using established best practices. It should be noted that you can always override these settings if these questions don't apply to your scenario. It's very customizable. If we take a look at the tool itself, you'll see something similar to the following screenshot. As I mentioned, we name our workload, and that appears in Section 1. Section 2 shows you the pillars and drop-downs into the questions for each. Section 3 shows the actual questions themselves. 4 is the pillar and question stem. 5 is a bit of background and the recommendation. 6 is the answer you provide with a toggle to designate whether the question is applicable or not. This is important because it affects your overall score. Oh, and I can't forget Section 7, where you'll be presented with short videos explaining how to answer a particular question. Anyhow, that's the well-architected framework and tool. Hope you've enjoyed learning how to evaluate your workloads.
So the well-architected framework tools has 6 pillars. The 6 pillars, 1 is operation excellence, 2 is security is important, 3 is reliability. The system has to be reliable, the architecture framework. 4 is performance efficiency. 5 is cost of optimization. 6 is sustainability. It has to be sustained. So these are the 6 pillars of well-architected framework. So let's go to the next one. Which pillar of the AWS well-architected framework focuses on the ability of a workload to consistently and correctly perform its intended functions? Which pillars of the AWS well-architected framework focuses on the ability of a workload to consistently and correctly perform its intended functions? So that would be operation excellence. Okay, this is a bit tricky because which pillar of the AWS architecture framework focuses on the ability of a workload to consistently and correctly perform its intended functions? It could be reliability. It has to be reliable, right? Or performance efficiency. I guess that go performance efficiency. Oh, you see, reliability. This one is tricky. It could go both ways. It could go operation excellence. So reliability, it has to be reliable. Okay. Benefits of AWS. Benefits
All
of
right.
AWS.
So now you've learned all there is to know about AWS, and you're ready to go build your empire, right? Okay. So even if that isn't true, you should still now have a good understanding of a lot of the different services AWS has to offer, and how you can use them together like building blocks to build solutions for your business that scale, are flexible, and are reliable. You also should by now understand some of the terminology AWS uses. Knowing this terminology is important for moving forward with your cloud journey. As you read blog posts or AWS documentation, you now should know a lot of the acronyms and phrases that you'll see. What you should also keep in mind as you move forward is the 6 main benefits of using the AWS cloud. You'll start to evaluate what applications and solutions will be built in the cloud. And knowing these benefits can really help you make those decisions in an informed way. Let's start with the first benefit.
This is a super important thing to remember. When you are building traditional on-premises data centers, you need to invest a large amount of money up front just to get started. You need to invest cash into the actual data center physical space, all the hardware, the staff for racking and stacking that hardware, and the overhead of keeping the data center running. For a medium to large business, this can be hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. Then, no matter what your utilization is of that data center, you have a fixed cost and can set up your budget around that fixed cost. Billing with AWS is fundamentally different than the traditional billing model we just talked about. Your bill with AWS will be variable month to month as you consume more or less resources. Now, the great thing about this is if you are just getting started, there's no need to come up with $1 million to invest into your AWS environment. Instead, you can start small, get billed for only what you use, and as you use more resources over time, your bill will fluctuate with that growth. Now, if your bill gets out of your allotted budget, you can find ways to save money by turning off unused instances, deleting old resources that aren't being used, optimizing your applications, using tools like AWS Trusted Advisor to help you find opportunities to save money. Just because your bill was high one month, it doesn't mean you can't get it lowered the next month. And that's just not true with traditional on-premises data center billing. That's the first advantage. The next is
benefit from massive economies of scale. This one is straightforward. AWS is building out massive amounts of capacity all around the world. And in order to build all those data centers, AWS is buying huge amounts of hardware. AWS is also an expert at building efficient data centers. We can buy the hardware at a lower price because of the massive volume, and then we install it and run it efficiently. Because of these factors, you can achieve a lower variable cost than you could running a data center on your own. Next up is
Stop guessing capacity. When you are building out a traditional data center, you need to estimate how much capacity you will need to run your business. Let's say you estimate you will have a user base of 10 million people over the next 3 years. You purchase enough hardware to support that growth over time. And then, turns out you only have about 500,000 users, much lower than you anticipated. Well, guess what? You are still stuck with that cost and hardware for the 10 million users. You overestimated your capacity. The other side of the coin here is that you estimate your capacity too low, and you now need to scramble to build out your data center to handle the higher capacity before your customers have a degraded experience or before you lose customers altogether. That takes time, and you most likely won't keep up, or you will have to put in a heroic effort to achieve it. Guessing your capacity up front can be problematic if you either over or underestimate. With AWS, you don't need to guess your capacity. Instead, provision the resources you need for the now, and then use the scaling mechanisms for each resource to scale up or down based on the real-life capacity it needs from day to day. As scaling can take minutes with AWS instead of weeks or months with on-premises resources. The next is my personal favorite benefit.
increase speed and agility. With AWS, it's easy to try new things. You can spin up test environments and run experiments on new ways to approach solving a problem. And then if that approach didn't work, you can just delete those resources and stop incurring cost. Traditional data centers don't offer the same flexibility. And therefore, if you want to run an experiment that will require new servers being bought and installed, the cost of the experiment failing is high because you already bought the server. The flexibility of AWS helps drive innovation, as well as the ease of provisioning resources. Getting a new database stood up on premises might take weeks. In AWS, it takes minutes. That ability to quickly get the resources you need helps you get to market quicker. All right, next up.
Stop spending money running and maintaining data centers. If you aren't a data center company, why spend so much money and time running data centers? Let AWS take the undifferentiated heavy lifting off your hands and instead focus on what makes your business valuable. What makes your offering better than your competitors? AWS lets you focus on finding the answer to that and delighting your customers with new innovative solutions instead of focusing on running hardware in a data center. And last but not least, we have
Go global in minutes. Let's say you're a company based in the US and you want to expand your operations to Germany. You have data centers in the US serving this region, but you'll need data centers in Germany to serve that region. Traditionally, you would need to have staff in Germany running and operating a data center for you. With AWS, you can just replicate your architecture to a region in Germany. And if you're set up correctly, you can do this in an automated fashion using tools like AWS CloudFormation. The time it takes for you to expand into a secondary area of the world traditionally can be months or years. With AWS, it just takes minutes.
That's it. Those are the 6 main benefits of using AWS. And from all of us at AWS, congratulations on completing the AWS Cloud Practitioner Essentials course.
If you want to dive even deeper, please check out our other course offerings for more information on AWS products and services.
And best of luck to you as you begin your cloud journey.
Which process is an example of benefiting from massive economies of scale. Massive economies of scale. So the more customers you get, the less you pay. Explain something that's agile, agility.
Agile is a methodology often used in software development.
No. Explain agility.
Agility in general refers to the ability to move quickly and easily. It involves a combination of speed, strength, balance, and coordination. In different contexts, it can mean slightly different things. 1. Physical agility. This is the capacity to change the body's position efficiently. It involves balance, coordination, speed, reflexes, strength, and endurance. Athletes, dancers, and military personnel often train to enhance their physical agility. 2, mental agility. This is the ability to think quickly and adapt to new situations. It involves problem-solving skills, quick thinking, creativity, and the capacity to handle multiple tasks simultaneously. It's crucial in roles that require fast decision-making and innovation. 3, organizational agility. This refers to a company's ability to adapt rapidly and effectively to changes in the market, customer demands, and other external factors. It involves flexibility, responsiveness, and the capacity to pivot strategies quickly. Agile organizations can thrive in dynamic and unpredictable environments. In all these contexts, agility is about being prepared and capable of adjusting swiftly to new circumstances or challenges.
Which pillar of the AWS well-architected framework includes the ability to run workloads effectively and gain insights into their operations? Okay, the ability to run workload effectively and gain insight into their operations. Not cost optimization, operational excellence, performance, efficiency, reliability. So I'm going to go with operation excellence. Okay. What are the benefits of cloud computing? Select 2. Increase speed and agility. Yes, this one. Benefit from smaller economies. Scale now. Trade variable expense for upfront expense. Now, maintain infrastructure capacity. Stop spending money running and maintaining data centers. Okay, so this the last one. Okay. Learning objective. In this module, you learn how to determine resource preparing for the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner exam. Describe the benefits of becoming AWS certified. The AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner exam includes 4 domains: cloud concepts, security and compliance, technology, billing, and pricing. The areas covered describe each domain in the exam guide for the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner certification. For a description of each domain, review the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner website. You are encouraged to read the information in the exam guide as part of your preparation for the exam. Each domain in the exam is weighted. The weight represents the percentage of questions in the exam and correspond to that particular domain. Domain cloud concepts 24%, security and compliance 30%, technology 34%, billing and pricing 12%. You are encouraged to use this benchmark to help you determine how to allocate your time studying for the exam. Recommended experience. Candidates for the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner exam should have a basic understanding of IT services and their uses in the AWS cloud platform. We recommend that you have at least 6 months of experience with AWS cloud in any role, including project managers, IT managers, sales managers, decision makers, and marketeers. These roles are in addition to those working in finance, procurement, and the legal departments. Okay. Exam detail. The AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner consists of 65 questions to be completed in 90 minutes. Okay. The minimum passing score is 700. The maximum score is 1,000. Two types of questions are included on the exam: multiple choice and multiple response. A multiple choice question has one correct response and 3 incorrect responses, or the structures. A multiple response question has 2 or more correct responses, or out of 5 or more options. On the exam, there is no penalty for guessing. Any questions that you do not answer or score are incorrect. If you are not sure of what this correct answer is, it's always best you guess instead of leaving any questions unanswered. The exams enables you to flag any questions that you'd like to review before submitting the answer to the exam. This helps you to use your time during the exam efficiently, knowing that you can always go back and review any questions that you were initially unsure of. White papers and the resources. As part of your preparation for the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner exam, we recommend that you review the following white papers and resources. Overview of Amazon Web Services, how AWS price works, compare AWS for, okay, let's see that one. What is this? Oh, another information. Huh? Cloud computing model, infrastructure as a service, IaaS, platform as a service, PaaS, software as a service, SaaS. So, cloud computing models, infrastructure as a service, IaaS, platform as a service, PaaS, software as a service, SaaS. Okay. Infrastructure as a service contains the basic building blocks of cloud IT and typically provides access to networking features, computers, virtual or undedicated hardware, and data storage space. IaaS provides you with the highest level of flexibility and management control over your IT resources, and is most similar to existing IT resources that many IT departments and developers are familiar with today. Platform as a service. Platform as a service PaaS removes the need for your organization to manage the underlying infrastructure, usually hardware and operating system, and allows you to focus on the deployment and the management of your applications. This helps you be more efficient as you don't need to worry about resource procurement, capacity planning, software maintenance, patching. Okay, software as a service. Software as a service provided with a completed product that's run and managed by the service provider. Cloud computing deployment methods, models, cloud hybrid on-premises, global infrastructure, security and compliance, safe. which component or service establishes a dedicated private connection between on-premises data center and the virtual private cloud. Internet gateway, virtual private gateway, Amazon CloudFront, AWS Direct Connect. Is that correct? Yeah. Which migration strategy involves changing how an application is architected and developed, typically by using cloud-native features? Changing how an application is architected and developed, typically by using cloud-native features, refactoring, rehosting, replatforming, repurchasing. Migration strategy involves changing how an application is architected and developed, typically using cloud-native features. So this is going to be repurchasing, right? Repurchasing. Good. Or I'm sorry, refactoring. Yes, adding new features. Which tool provide the capability to visualize, understand, manage AWS costs and the usage over time? Right. AWS budgets, which tool provide the capability to visualize, understand, and manage AWS costs and the usage over time. AWS Cost Explorer. Yes. A cloud engineer is running an Amazon EC2 instance and wants to store data in an attached resource. The data is temporary and will not be kept long term. Which resource should they choose? Amazon S3 bucket, Amazon Elastic Block Store, Volume, Instant Store, not Subnet, Instant Store, Amazon Elastic Block Store. This is the Amazon S3 backup. Like, come on, got it incorrect. So it's going to be Instant Store. Yeah. Which service consolidates and manages multiple AWS accounts from a central location? AWS Identity and Access Management, AWS Key Management Service, AWS Organization. Which service consolidates and manages multiple AWS accounts from a central location? Yeah, that's AWS Organizations. Okay. An application developer wants to send and receive messages between distributed application components. Which service should they use? An application developer wants to send and receive messages between distributed application components. Which service should they use? AWS Snowball, AWS Simple Queue Service, AWS Elastic Cache, AWS. To send and receive messages. Amazon Simple Queue Service. between distributed applications. I guess Amazon SQS. Which actions can a person perform in Amazon Route 53? Select 2. Manage DNS record for domain names. That's correct. Connect user requests to infrastructure in AWS. No. Monitor applications. No. Access AWS security and compliance. No. Automate the deployment of workloads into AWS environment. No. Actions can perform in AWS Route 53. Route 53 manages the domain names. It also converts domain names into IP addresses. It also allows you to register domain names. Connect user requests to infrastructure in AWS and outside of AWS. Okay, I go over 2 of them. This is AWS Route 53. That's correct. The cloud engineer wants to store data in a volume that is attached to an Amazon EC2 instance. Which service should they use? The cloud engineer wants to store data in a volume that is attached to an Amazon EC2 instance. Which service should they use? Cloud engineer wants to store data in a volume that is attached to an Amazon EC2 instance. Cloud engineer wants to store data in a volume that's attached to an Amazon EC2 instance. Which service should they use? Amazon Elasticache, no, Amazon Simple Storage Service. Not Amazon Lambda, not okay. Amazon Simple Storage Service. Amazon Elastic Block Store, EBS. Amazon Elastic Block Store, yeah. Create. Which service provides the capability to quickly deploy and scale application on AWS? Amazon CloudFront, no. Amazon Snowball, AWS Outposts, AWS Elastic Bins. Which service provides the capability to quickly deploy and scale application on AWS? So that's going to be the AWS Outpost is creating application regions within EC2s. Okay. So AWS Elastic Beanstalk. Which statement best describes elastic load balancing? A service that provides data for monitoring application, optimize resource utilization, and respond to system-wide performance changes. A service that monitors applications and automatically adds or removes capacity from resource groups in response to changing demand. a service that distributes incoming traffic across multiple targets such as Amazon EC2 instances, a service that provides the capability to create, manage, and scale a distributed in-memory or cache environment in the cloud. So let's go to a service that distributes incoming traffic, right? So ELB, which is ELB, Elastic Load Balancing. It distributes incoming traffic across multiple targets such as Amazon EC2 instances. Okay. The cloud architect wants Amazon S3 to monitor object access patterns. Which storage class should they use? And a cloud architect wants Amazon S3 to monitor object access patterns. Which storage class should they use? Object access pattern. Okay. Amazon S3 Glacier Flexible Retrieval, Amazon S3 Standard IA, Amazon S3 One-Zone IA, Amazon S3 Intelligent Tiering. Amazon Standard Infrequent. To monitor object access. What is to monitor object access patterns?
Monitoring object access patterns refers to tracking and analyzing how and when objects, like files, data entries, or resources, are accessed in a system. This practice is crucial for several reasons. 1. Performance optimization. By understanding access patterns, you can optimize the system's performance. Frequently accessed objects might be stored in faster storage or cached to improve response times. 2. Security. Monitoring access patterns can help detect unauthorized access or anomalies that might indicate a security breach. For example, if a file that is rarely accessed suddenly gets a lot of access requests, it might be a sign of malicious activity. 3. Resource management. It helps in efficient resource allocation by identifying which objects are heavily used.
Amazon S3 Standard. There's infrequent immediate ability. This is incorrect. Amazon S3 Intelligent Tier. Yeah, I didn't know that. Which support plans include access to all AWS Trusted Advisor checks? Select 2. Which support plans include access to all AWS Trusted Advisor checks? Business and Enterprise. Which action can a person perform in Amazon CloudFront? So CloudFront is for CDN, Content Delivery, CDN, Content Delivery Network. Which action can a person perform in Amazon CloudFront? provision resources by using programming languages or a test file, deliver content to customers through a global network of edge location, provision an isolated section of the AWS cloud to launch resources in a virtual network that person defines, run infrastructure and hybrid cloud operation. The answer is deliver content to customers through a global network of edge location. Which service provides review details for user activities and API calls that have occurred within an AWS environment? Which service provides review details for user activities and API calls that have occurred within an AWS environment? AWS CloudTrail, so that's auditing and logging, just checking logs. AWS Trusted Advisor, this service is to give you advice on best practices. Amazon Inspector, that's for the security service. Amazon CloudWatch, that's also CloudWatch. CloudWatch is to set alarms for metrics. So let's go to AWS CloudTrail. Which statement best describes AWS Marketplace? A resource that can answer questions about best practices and assist with troubleshooting issues. No. A digital catalog that includes thousands of software listings from independent software vendors. Yes. A resource that provides guidance, reviews on going to an online tool that inspects AWS. No. A digital catalog that includes thousands of software listings from independent software vendors. Which AWS Trusted Advisor category includes checks for high utilization EC2 instances? Category includes checks for high utilization EC2 instances. Security, cost optimization, fault tolerance, performance. So that's going to be under cost optimization. Not security, not fault tolerance. So it has to be cost optimization. What is it? Oh, performance, damn it. Which AWS Trusted Advisor category includes checks for high utilization EC2 instances? It's going to be performance. Which statement best describes Amazon Guard Duty? Guard Duty is just for security services. Security service. Protect system by identifying threats. Yeah. A service that helps protect application against distributed denial of services attacks. A service that monitors network requests for web application. A service that provides intelligent threat detection for AWS infrastructure and resources. A service that checks application for security vulnerabilities and deviation for security best practices. Okay, so this helps protect applications. monitors network. Yes. I think a service that provides intelligent threat detection for AWS infrastructure and resources. That's correct. Which pillar of AWS well architect framework focuses on using computing resources in ways that meet system requirements? Performance, efficiency, security, reliability, operational excellence. Which pillar of AWS well architect framework focuses on using computing resources in ways that meet system requirements? So we're talking about the 6 pillars, right? Operation excellence, security, reliability, performance efficiency, cost optimization, sustainability. Operational excellence. Yeah, performance efficiency. Infrequent access tier. So Amazon S3 standard AI. S3 standard AI. And the frequent access tier. S3 Glacier flexible retrieval. Or S3 standard. Could you explain S3 standards in AWS?
Amazon S3, Simple Storage Service standards, refer to the various features, protocols, and practices associated with using and managing data in S3. Here are some key aspects. 1. Storage classes. S3 offers different storage classes to optimize cost and performance based on data access patterns. S3 standard, designed for frequently accessed data, offering low latency.
Okay, so S3 standard. All right, let's see. Correct, S3 standard and S3 infrequent. So for frequent and infrequent, S3 standard is for frequent access, right? S3 standard IA is infrequent access. Okay. An application developer wants to store data in a key value database. Which service should they use? Key value database. That's, I know that. Amazon DynamoDB, Amazon Aurora, Amazon Document, Amazon RDS. That's going to be Amazon DynamoDB, which is a serverless database. Which statement best describes an availability zone? Aside that Amazon Cloud Front uses to cache copies of content for faster delivery to user at any location. A fully isolated portion of AWS global infrastructure. Now, the server from which Amazon Cloud Front gets files. A separate geographical location with multiple locations that are isolated from each other. The Amazon Cloud Front uses to cache copies of content for faster delivery to users at any location. I go with the number one. Oh, come on. A fully isolated portion of AWS global infrastructure. Availability zone. A fully isolated portion of AWS global infrastructure. A fully isolated portion of AWS global infrastructure. Which virtual private cloud VPC component control inbound and outbound traffic from Amazon EC2 instances? Which virtual private cloud components controls inbound and outbound traffic for Amazon EC2 instances? Internet gateway, security groups, subnet, network access controllers. Yeah, which controls inbound and outbound control for Amazon EC2. Gonna go with network control access. Network access controllers. No, that's incorrect. Security group. Oh my goodness. Okay, security group. maintaining virtualization infrastructure, configuring security groups, no. Training company employees on how to use AWS service. Okay, so let's correct. Maintaining virtualization infrastructure, configuring AWS infrastructure devices. Which perspective of AWS cloud adoption framework focusing on recovering IT workload to meet the requirements of business stakeholders? Which perspective of AWS cloud? Okay. Which it's not governance, it's not people perspective, business perspective. Go business perspective, operation perspective. AWS Lambda is a serverless computer serverless. aspect of AWS.